It all kicks off at a Japanese airport. A commercial airplane lands, but things go downhill fast. A group of terrorists hijacks the plane, demanding $10 million and another aircraft to escape in. Chaos unfolds inside, and panic begins to spread. The Japanese government quickly sends in their SWAT unit, determined to end the crisis, but they refuse to give in to the terrorists' demands. The goal is clear: rescue the passengers without paying a single yen. Inside the cabin, amidst the fear and confusion, a woman wakes up, groggy, confused, and a little irritated. Her name is Kumiko. She mumbles to herself that she might be late for school. The hijackers don't take her attitude kindly, especially when one points a gun at her and tells her to stay put. Nearby, an elderly woman timidly asks for a glass of water. A terrorist threatens her too. But that's when Kumiko snaps, not in fear, but in anger. She stands up and gives the terrorists a lecture, scolding them for threatening an old lady. Everyone on board freezes. Even the terrorists are thrown off. Their leader considers shooting Kumiko, but before he can act, something strange happens. To everyone's shock, the terrorists themselves run off the plane, sprinting like they have seen a ghost. Outside, they fall to their knees in front of the police, begging for protection from that woman. They swear to never hijack a plane again, and out walks Kumiko, calm, composed, not a hair out of place. The media surrounds her, but she simply smiles and says, "I didn't do anything. I'm just a math teacher. And yes, I'm still single." The police are baffled. The news goes viral. But behind those innocent eyes is a story no one suspects, except those who truly know her. You see, Kumiko isn't just a teacher. She's the granddaughter of a legendary Yakuza boss. Orphaned as a child, she was raised by her grandfather, who trained her in every deadly martial art imaginable. He wanted her to take over the gang, but Kumiko dreamed of a quiet life, teaching math to kids. Surprisingly, her grandfather respected her wishes. The gang agreed to go legit, and Kumiko got her teaching license. But her past? It never really left her. When Kumiko returns to school, she tries to downplay the hijacking incident, claiming she just talked the terrorists down. The principal, however, knows the truth. He warns her, if her real identity is exposed, her teaching career is over. That same day, a new assistant teacher arrives, Ryu. Turns out he's one of Kumiko's old students from a previous school. She's excited to see him again and quickly ropes him into helping with Class D, the most out-of-control bunch of students in the school. Class D is pure chaos. The students are disrespectful, loud, and unruly. But Kumiko isn't rattled. When a student throws a ball at her, she casually dodges it and it smacks the same student in the face. She calmly introduces herself, warns them she's dealt with worse, and tells them they'll be seeing more of her during the sports period. Meanwhile, Takashi, the de facto leader of the student gang, and his group are keeping a close eye on Kumiko and Ryu. Tensions rise when another gang threatens Takashi's crew, but Takashi doesn't back down. He fights them off and defends his friends. This sets off a dangerous chain of events. Later, Kumiko and Ryu visit a local restaurant where some of her old students work. They tease her about Ryu being her boyfriend. She laughs it off, but is visibly touched by their warmth and loyalty. Ryu even hands her a handkerchief when she tears up. A small but tender moment. The gang Takashi fought earlier returns. This time, they show up at school. The principal panics and calls the police. Though they leave, they vow revenge. The principal scolds Takashi and threatens Kumiko's job. She defends the students, and they in turn promise not to cause more trouble. But Takashi, feeling responsible, disappears, intent on ending things on his own. Kumiko hears the news and rushes to find him. Ryu shares his past, explaining how Kumiko once saved him from a dark path. Inspired, the students chase after Takashi. They find him just in time. He's surrounded and outnumbered by the gang. But before the worst can happen, Kumiko bursts in, literally smashing through a wall, and fights off the attackers single-handedly. When asked how she knows how to fight, she simply says, "When someone you care about is in danger, you protect them, no matter what." Things start settling down until two police officers arrive. They're investigating a drug case involving one of Kumiko's old students. Zine. His wallet was found at a raid site. Kumiko refuses to believe he's guilty and vows to find him. Zine, meanwhile, is in hiding. But when Ryu hears a noise in an empty classroom, he discovers Zine hiding there. Kumiko confronts him. Zine breaks down and confesses. He unknowingly delivered drugs hidden in idols while working a delivery job. When he found out the truth, he tried to back out. The gang threatened him, and during a police raid, he fled, leaving his wallet behind. Kumiko shelters Zine at her house. That night, she activates her Yakuza network. They dig deep, and the shocking truth emerges. The man behind the entire drug ring? None other than Park, the presidential candidate who presents himself as a clean, respectable leader. The students are furious. The next morning, Kumiko wakes to find them planning an entire mission on a whiteboard. She's proud, but then her grandfather walks in. With a steely gaze, he says, "If this man is poisoning our youth, it's time someone cleaned up the mess." But he leaves the mission to Kumiko. "We don't kill," he warns. "You lead. I'll back you." That night, the team sneaks into the warehouse. They find boxes of idol statues, each stuffed with. Ryu records it all, while Kumiko notes the shipment info. Suddenly, footsteps. Park's men arrive. Kumiko's team escapes with the evidence, barely. They leak the footage to the underground press. The next day, Japan explodes in outrage. News headlines scream, "Presidential candidate exposed in scandal." Footage of the warehouse, images of the idols, and Park's shady connections flood the airwaves. Park scrambles to deny everything at a live press conference, but before he finishes, police arrive and arrest him. On live TV, in front of the nation. At school, the principal calls Kumiko into his office. He stares at her for a long moment, then cracks a smile. "This is the last time I ignore your extracurricular activities, but thank you." Ryu decides to stay on as a full-time teacher, inspired by Kumiko. Takashi and his gang change their ways. They start mentoring younger students. Zain? He's back in school, finally at peace. As Kumiko walks through the school hallway, students bow to her like she's a superhero. Because Kumiko Sensei's legend? It's just getting started.